Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
It's so amazing, this pizza. Someday there's just like, you're like digging for topics. Some days you've got 3 shows worth of topics. Some days I don't have a guest. Days like this, 1, 2, 3, 4 guests. When it rains, it pours. And when there's a drought, there's a drought. Corey Johnson back at you Thursday afternoon. 2 big hours coming your way on radio, on television, on YouTube. Got a lot to cover. Hurricane Helene bearing down on the Florida Panhandle as we speak. Atlanta and Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina right now getting rain from that storm. I mean, that is the way outer bands of the storm. But tropical storm winds 350 miles out from the eye. It's a pretty big storm. Cat 300-mile-an-hour winds, 105 actually, gusting up to 125, bearing down on this Big Bend area, basically where the Panhandle transitions into the Florida Peninsula. Appalachia Bay, southeast of Tallahassee, northwest of Tampa. Atlanta might get a Category 1 hurricane. Atlanta. And we have blue skies and lower temperatures. Right now in New Orleans, like, just gorgeous. Pensacola, no rain right now. Pensacola has no rain. So that's sort of like right kind of the edge of the storm. It's from a little east of Pensacola, like basically like Fort Walton is getting rain, and the rest of Florida is getting rain. But then like Mobile, Alabama's fine, and Gulfport, Biloxi, and New Orleans, I mean, go outside. Today is an absolutely gorgeous day. The nicest day in about 5 months. It's a little lower humidity. It's temperatures, I don't know, I'm guessing like maybe 80 right now, tops. I mean, earlier it was like 75 degrees. Well, it's up to 85, which doesn't seem right because it's cool and comfortable. It does not. It's 51% humidity. That answers that question. And it's hard to get the feels like lower than the temperature, but it feels like it's 75 out there. You can move around and you're not sweating and you're in the sunshine. Jimmy the roofer's going, dude, I'm sweating. Yeah, you're roofing. Yeah, I bet you are. Anyway, gorgeous day, and just a few hundred miles east of us, Hurricane Helene. We'll keep you updated on that over the next couple of hours. Entergy and the New Orleans City Council considering cutting back and even removing some oak trees in New Orleans. In a city where we have a depleted tree canopy. 30% tree loss in the last 20 years. Our tree canopy is at 18%. Atlanta, Georgia is at 47%. So they have like 2.5 times more trees than we have. We're in a friggin' marsh, a wetland, the top of the subtropic zone. We should be the lushest, greenest city in the United States of America. But in typical New Orleans dysfunction, Jefferson Parish as well, we have a lack of trees. And Entergy, trees cause lots of problems with power outages. Yeah, because you run power lines through the trees, or worse, you V-cut the oak trees. A lot of you don't notice because we're riding under the bottom of the tree. Take a look like down Carrollton Avenue, anywhere there are power lines and oak trees, Canal Street. They V-cut the trees so the power lines go through, and it's just an abomination. It's not a good tree practice. No tree expert, some arborist would go, no, it's cool to V-cut oak trees. That's all right. instead of putting the power lines above the trees, or better yet, burying them. Entergy and the dysfunctional New Orleans City Council, and the council's hyper woke. You think they'd be tree huggers. Not in New Orleans, not even thinking about it. That little phrase I came up, we be digging, that there should be signage all over the city. We be digging. Small holes, planting trees 24/7, 365, and large holes for retention ponds. Both mitigate flooding. Trees and their roots and the green absorb water. And the city council wants to cut down some oak trees or prune them heavily back so the Entergy power won't go out. That's not the solution. That's just a half-ass way to try to avoid doing the right thing. Either power lines that are above the tree line or bury them. Should be buried. Anyway, just mind-blowing that the city council is even considering this. Entergy just wants to, the cheap way out. Keep profits high for stockholders and get the job done on the cheap, the quickest, cheapest way possible. I love Entergy now putting up signs where they're doing some type of new transmission lines or something like that, and they're putting up signs like the city of New Orleans does when they're doing a street. It's like, yeah, congratulations, Entergy, you're doing your job, and you're going to put a sign up. You're being normal. You want a gold star? You want a pat on the back for doing the right thing? Being normal? Crazy. Speaking of crazy, the Louisiana Surgeon General, who is a veterinarian, Ralph Abraham, let's get a second tiger. And we can parade that one around the LSU games in front of 100,000 fans before the game in a little mobile cage. What is the fascination with Governor Jeff Landry and now this veterinarian? It's mind-boggling. I'd say, hey, Ralph Abraham, stay in your lane. But this is his lane, animals. He obviously does not know how to drive. Let's get a second tiger. We'll call him Mikey, and we can put him in a mobile cage and run him around Tiger Stadium before the game. Because it'd be cruel to put Mike the Tiger out there. He's not used to that. But a Tiger Cub will condition him to the 102,000 people freaking out before a game. How about you just don't parade the Tiger around the game before? Just crazy. I don't get this obsession. It's just weird. Charismatic New York City Mayor Eric Adams indicted by the Southern District of New York. Just illegal campaign contributions, bribery, wire fraud. The big thing, helping a Turkish, I guess you'd call them what? Foreign, what's the exact term? I'm going blank. Foreign official. Getting the Turkey consulate built in Manhattan when the New York Fire Department said, we can't approve it. The building's dangerous. Seems to be shoddily built. And Adams forced that through. And Adams staying in luxury suites in Istanbul when he's traveling to other countries. The Fed seizing Adams' phones and other things. 57-page indictment, 5-count indictment. Eric Adams, charismatic New York City mayor. I mean, I kind of like the guy and his personality. But since like 2013 or so, 2014, when he was the Brooklyn borough president, he's been doing these scams. And, innocent until proven guilty, but it doesn't look good at all for Eric Adams. Major criminal charges. Hey, Marta Jewson's going to join us. She's with The Lens. She was trying to get a public records request about the New Orleans school zones and how the city is breaking the law, state law. She'll visit with us next. Bradley Schneller from Stacked Coaching in about 15 minutes. Jeff Dorson, Humane Society, near the top of the hour. Renee Pastorek from the Downtown Development District is going to join us in the 5 o'clock powwow to find out about Canal Street, redevelopment there. Hard Rock Hotel, that site. Yeah, we're loaded, chock full of guests. Your phone calls are welcome. 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. Got my Evermore water, New Orleans' own Evermore water. Naturally alkaline, high. Comes from an aquifer on the North Shore, about 35, 40 miles from the Dome, the French Quarter. I just opened the cap. That's the first time this water has hit the air. Impenetrable rock protecting it about a half mile in the ground. Maybe the best water on earth. Clearly different water. Evermore. Clearly better water. EVAMOR. EVAMOR. Evermore water. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
I just hit my Smoothie King on Jefferson Highway across from Oshner. I got a Gladiator, vanilla Gladiator with unsweetened strawberries and bananas. Smoothie King across from Oshner, the old Metairie Smoothie King, Airline at LaBar. Jay and his dad own both of those franchisees. They've been in the Smoothie King business for a couple of decades. They do it best. They got smoothies if you want to gain weight. They got smoothies if you want to lose weight. They got meal supplements. Smoothie King, Jefferson Highway across from Oshner. Smoothie King, Old Metairie, Airline at LaBar by Causeway, right by the Rouses. Thursday afternoon edition of the program. Thank goodness for these folks at the Lens. You know, a major problem in America, the loss of newspapers. And what newspapers do, the print papers, they have investigative reporters. And they may spend months, up to like a year, doing investigative reporting. And it all pops up like one Sunday. And it's over with. But it's, you know, it's like a watchdog looking out for us. And that's going away. So thank goodness, fill in the void, an organization, an entity like the Lens. Marta Jewson joins us from the Lens. Marta, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks so much for having me, and thank you for those kind words.
Isn't that true, though? I mean, there's a void with that investigative stuff. I mean, I think of like the Olympic gymnastics scandal. The Indianapolis Star was on that for like a year. And then even like the steroids in baseball, the San Francisco Chronicle had not one but two reporters for like a year. I mean, they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe north of $1 million. And then they're doing this stuff that, you know, helps, you know, change lives in a positive way, exposing fraud, abuse, criminal activity. You guys do that at the Lens, appropriately named.
Yeah, you know, and we love what we do, and we like to think, like you said, Karen created us so we could kind of fill that gap. And I see it happen on two levels. One is at that bigger end of the spectrum, and the other is kind of in these small niche areas, you know, like charter schools that I've been reporting on for so long.
Yep.
Because I think at certain points they were so small they didn't rise to the level of wanting the paper to commit resources to them.
Yeah, and television doesn't have time to maybe commit resources to that full time. Some do. You know, there might be like a school reporter, but no, it's great what you guys do. Hey, Marta, bringing you on because I saw you posting something on Twitter a few weeks ago. I'll follow your stuff. What you wanted a public records request about the Orleans Parish Public Schools, the charter schools, and them basically not following new law with school zones. Is that right?
Yeah, so actually the city controls the school zone lights. So I put in a request to the city because I knew a new law was going into place that was going to alter the times of the school zone enforcement. So I put in a records request to the city, and then you're right, they came back to me saying that it appeared I was asking for, quote, legal advice, which I told them I was not. So I'm still waiting to hear back from them now.
Yeah, you want legal advice, you'll hire an attorney, I would guess.
Right. I'm probably not going to the city for my legal advice.
Essentially, I say it this way. The city sort of has this blanket school zone thing, yet the Orleans Parish School Board runs like one school. All the others are charters. A lot of them start and end at different times of the day. And New Orleans just sort of lays a blanket over it, right?
Right. So years ago, they decided to lay that kind of blanketed time zone of 7 to 9 a.m. and 2:45 to 4:45 p.m. And you're right. There are, 70 schools that have as many schedules or up to as many schedules.
Some start at the exact same time. A lot of them don't. Some end the day before that school zone light starts blinking. Different days, different times they start and stop. What's the law? An hour before and an hour after, and that's it, right?
Right. So the code used to be in the city was those 2-hour window blocks that we talked about. And now this new law allows them to do an hour before starting and after, and then an hour at the end of the school day on either side. And I think what you're seeing is a lot of confusion because of those time changes.
No, I mean, you drive by so many schools, the light's blinking. It could be blinking for like another hour and the doors are shut and everybody's in the school, or the opposite, everybody's gone home and the school's shut down and the lights are still blinking. That is a problem. And then you throw in the traffic cameras, it even makes it worse.
Right. And I think one of the issues here is, the Lens has been reporting on school zone lights specifically for, I don't know, about 10 years, I guess. And one of the issues is that even when we were doing that reporting a decade ago, there was this mistrust in the system just because even though times were the same, there were so many lights that weren't working or some schools were shut down and people just didn't know when and where to be following those reduced speeds.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then you get caught like on a holiday when they're not in school and you look up and the thing's blinking and you might get a traffic camera ticket or what have you. Hey, what exactly was your public records request?
I requested records that reflected the time that each individual school zone light would be currently programmed for.
And they're basically what? It's 6:55, like you said, 7 to 9. I think it's 6:55 to 8:55 or 7 to 9 in the morning. And then
it used to be 7 to 9 and 2:45 to 4:45. I've been driving all over the city, and I'm sure your listeners have too. I've seen them now. This DPW started to put up stickers to announce the new times. And in some zones, I've seen them start as early as 6 a.m. And in others, I've seen them end as early as 6 p.m.
Wow. So some are like 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. to 6 p.m.?
Right. And then I've also seen one that was 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. I mean, it's...
Wow.
And those go, all down Canal Street or all down Carrollton, and schools end at different times, just like you said.
So I guess the city was making an effort to line up the start and stop time somewhat with those individual charter schools and pasting this sticker over the existing sign.
Right. So the city appears to be doing their best to follow the law. It just seems like the rollout has been very confusing for citizens. And, like when I'm driving by, I can barely see these new times. They're very hard to read. It's not a large font.
Yep. No, exactly. It's at the bottom of the sign. And are the lights synchronized with the new times? I'm guessing they're still at the old 7 to 9 and 3 to 5, basically.
So the lights, in theory, are becoming synchronized with the new times. I haven't seen any specifically synchronized. I think some people have, but like you said, a lot of those schedules are changing. And, one of the other things I want to bring up is when we started reporting on these lights, we knew early on that the city had purchased a really good system that had the capability to be individually programmed for every school. So they have long had this capability. So it's a little surprising to me that this rollout is taking so long because, it's something they could have been doing all along.
Yeah, I was saying on my show earlier in the week, it's 2024. It seems like each principal could have an app on their phone or at the least their desktop computer that could sync up those signs. And, Marta, follow Louisiana law, make it an hour before the school starts and an hour after, but it's still the 2-hour window, right?
Well, it's supposed to be whatever's applied to those schools. I don't know that they're enforcing tickets yet. It doesn't sound like they are to me, just because there is, they're still working to get the system up and running now.
But the stickers are 2 hours, they say, right? There's none that are an hour.
Oh, yeah, right. They're putting up stickers for 2-hour windows.
Yeah, they're still going with the New Orleans method of 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon, instead of the state law. 1 hour, school bell rings to start school. You got to cut the lights off. The bell rings to let everybody out. You put them on, but only for an hour, right?
That language is a little confusing to me in the law, so I'd have to double check on that. But I certainly know that they should be lining up with the school. Itself's time.
Yeah, exactly. What's the latest on your public records request? The thing you started out with, you need legal help? That's not what we do?
So I did respond to them and say that I did not, in fact, need legal help and that any records request is a records request. The only, there's an answer of you get a record back or there isn't an actual record. I have not heard anything other than the fact that they quote unquote reopened my records request, but that's the latest I have.
Wow. And I'm learning something here. So they've got a pretty state-of-the-art system in that could do all this.
Yes, they have a system that could tailor to every single light. They've just never programmed it like that. And then I did see earlier today, they sent out a press release announcing that they have a website with all of the school zone hours, but I've looked through that and it's not very filled out.
Wow. Amazing. Hey, Marta, how can folks follow you on the Lens and everybody else working at the Lens?
Yeah, please come to our website, thelensnola.org. We're also on Twitter and Instagram. We have great marketing managers sending out all our stories. And we would really, really appreciate your support because, we can't do this investigative journalism without support. We're at thelensnola.org. And if you want to support us, you can add a /donate to that. And like you said, I would appreciate you having me on. We're the news organization in town without a paywall. So come visit us.
Yep. thelensnola.org. Mart, I'll keep keeping up on your stuff and we'll do it again soon. Thanks so much.
Great. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. That's Marta Jewson with The Lens, thelensnola.org. Yeah. And no paywall. So, pop them a little bit of money. I'm going to do it today, actually, because, they do great stuff. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. Yeah, you right. Speaking of great stuff, 6 lamb chops, a little veggie medley on the side. You get to pick 2 Middle Eastern sides with it, 20-something bucks. Best lamb deal maybe in America. It's at Lebanon's Cafe. Carol and Jeanette right by the streetcar barn. Open till 9:30 tonight. Head over there for dinner. So good. Lebanon's Cafe.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations, New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today, and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades. On Jefferson Highway, across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Today is an absolutely gorgeous day. But if you ever need air conditioning help, and soon, believe it or not, you might need heat help, Total Maintenance is there for you. Fair and honest Lucas and the boys, incapable of screwing you around. Air conditioning experts, they diagnose it right away. And speaking of right away, if your AC or heat's not working, they come immediately. If you need air conditioning, and soon it could be heat help, Total Maintenance is there for you. In New Orleans, in Baton Rouge, for over 40 years. Sterling reputation. Think Total Maintenance. TM-AC.com. TM-AC.com. Got you covered in New Orleans and Baton Rouge. Total Maintenance. I could use some air conditioning blowing right on me when I'm at Stacked Coaching. River Road at Arnold, about a block from the River Shack. Bradley Schneller is the owner, operator, coach, head trainer. It's his operation. He joins us again on the program. Bradley, how are you this afternoon?
I am doing fantastic, Corey. How are you, my man?
Doing well, man. Yeah, you're always doing well. I'm huffing and puffing, and you're just grinding it out with like twice the weight. I'm always laughing. It's funny. I sometimes it'll be you in there going, all right, ladies and Corey. And then about, I don't know, 75% of those women outlift me. I'll see a few of them. I'm like, okay, she's got a 30. Let me grab a 25. She's got 50 pounds. Let me get 40.
Well, funny story. Like, Corey, you have progressed racks over time, and now you're lifting with the stronger ladies. So it'll only be time before you're outlifting them.
I don't know, man. Some of them are really strong, and I appreciate the compliment, though, Bradley. You got a great place over there. Speaking of, what about someone that was like me, or maybe even worse, someone that's out of shape, no cardio, overweight, and they're just like, man, that's just too intimidating. I don't want to go into some gym where it's row, and competition with other people, or I don't want to go to the gym where I just can't keep up with this 1 hour routine. What do you say to those people?
Yeah, it's something we get quite often. And for the record, Stack Coaching, like, we don't really compete with each other. It's not like a CrossFit style gym where there's a lot of performance-based competition. We're all there to get healthier, to look better, feel better, and live our lifestyle. And so with that being said, I would tell that person, what are your goals, right? And for the most part, like, it should be long-term health, wellness, fitness. And even when people just want to look better and feel better, we should always be looking at the long term. Oftentimes, people get themselves into trouble when they're looking at, like, I want to go from 0 to 60 now, right? Like, I want to skip kindergarten weights middle school weights, high school weights. I want to jump right to college with all these other people, right? And when you think of it like that, it is quite intimidating. So to get there, it would be like recognize there's a lot of steps. I would even consider places that have personal training, or even if you're into group fitness, find a place that has personal training that gets you into the class. At Stacked, we offer what's called an on-ramp program. It's personal training sessions. It's a nutrition foundation that all leads you up to prepare you for the group fitness class. So when you get in, you don't feel lost. There are many gyms in New Orleans that I would assume also have this program or a program that's similar to it. And if you are not looking at a group fitness type facility, I would start with some personal training. You will feel better when you are more confident. Now, the problem is, and I know what everyone's going to think, I can't afford personal training. And again, I hate to say this, and there's some people out there that legitimately can't afford it, but it's what is your priority? When you put a certain part of your budget to your health and wellness, all of a sudden it becomes that. And the rest of your life, you live around it. So if that means you have to give up streaming television or whatever else you might be doing that's eating away, like there are tons of people, Corey, that can say, I can't afford fitness or personal training or whatever, and they're at the Dome every Sunday.
I'll tell you this.
Right.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So
it's even beyond that, Bradley.
Yeah.
Your place is $100 and something bucks a month. And what happens is you naturally, just organically give up these other things. And I'm telling you, I save money every month by going to Stack compared to what I used to spend not going to Stacked. That's a fact.
Yeah, I believe it.
I mean, I'm not eating crap. I'm not eating M&Ms and ice cream all the time. I mean, rarely now. It's like I don't even crave it. I don't want to wreck what I'm doing.
I mean, if you think about it like this, if you're trying to live a healthier lifestyle, and a part of that, like, let's say you go out to eat 2 times a week. Well, if you cut that in half, you more than doubled the cost of the membership.
No,
there it is.
You're right.
There.
You're right.
And you're living a little bit healthier. But back to what we're saying about people always, and I love talking about this, okay? It's the number one thing is mindset. Like, you have to look at the long-term big picture of your life. And you didn't get to this point. You didn't all of a sudden become overweight in 30 days. That didn't happen. It took years to get here. So give yourself the ability to get it back, but give yourself time, because when you don't take a shortcut, when you don't try to rush it, when you just say a little bit better, like the first month, meaning like, I'm just going to show up. And even if it's going through the motions, I'm just trying to show up to develop that habit. The next thing is I'm going to work a little bit harder. I'm going to get a sweat on, and then keep doing that and just keep pushing it a little bit more every week, every month, until you develop this into a total lifestyle.
A couple of things that I was doing, and I still do. I'll see everybody else in the group like looking at the workout for the day. They probably looked at it the day before. I've never, ever, since I've been there, looked at the workout, because I don't want to look at the workout, because I'll be like, oh, God, we got to do that. Oh, boy, I don't like that. But once you get into it, you just accept what's there. And a second thing, Bradley, whatever the routine might be, 15 of these, 10 of those, and then it's 4 sets of stuff. I might only do 3 of the 4 sets. I might do 10 reps instead of 15, especially in the beginning. Now I'm trying to complete everything. But in the beginning, I was just like, the folks that look at the workout, they're trying to take it on and kick its rear end. I don't look at it because I'm trying to survive it. That's the mentality I took, and it seems to have worked for me.
Yeah, I think that's a great mentality. Like, you have to look at where you are, be honest with where you are.
Exactly.
See what you're capable of, and see what is going to keep you repeating it. Right? Like, if you get your ass kicked every single day, can I say that? I don't know if I can say that, but if you get it kicked every single day, like, you might stop showing up in the beginning. Like, it's brutal, right? And if you just allow it to come to you and maybe say you get it kicked a little bit less, right? And you're like, all right, well, I need this. I'm kind of enjoying it. And you have good people around you that support you, like a community that supports you. It's easy to come back. And that's what for you. Like, it is hard. I see you, Corey. You're working hard, sweating your butt off, hyperventilating in the corner, like whatever it might be. But you're working your butt off. But you do have a community, especially of women around you, that want to make sure you succeed and get through the workout. And that's one of the most important parts is, are you surrounding yourself with people that are supporting your goal? And here's the deal. If you're not, you need to get different people.
Yep.
Because why do we want to have people in our lives that are a negative, that are trying to hold us down, don't want us to be better?
No, your place is a total positive vibe. Everybody's on the same page. Coupled with, I've never heard the word Trump, Biden, or Harris ever mentioned in that gym. Everybody's a positive force. So many girls, guys are like, Corey, you're doing that wrong. You're supposed to do it like this. Boy, that's good. Do that. I mean, everybody's supportive. No, it's. I like that it's a group. By myself, Bradley, I might quit after 15 or 20 minutes. With the group, it kind of motivates you to keep going unconsciously, subconsciously. I'm not thinking about it. I just do it because everybody else is doing it.
Yeah, man, look, I've been coaching fitness for about 14 years now, and I still enjoy the group because the group still gets me going. And look, often because of my circumstances, because of my life, being a dad, owning a business, it is hard for me to work out in the group, especially because I'm at the gym all the time and I have to do different responsibilities in terms of running the fitness and the nutrition organization. So sometimes I have to work out by myself. But when I do work out in a group, I absolutely work harder and it feels so much better and I do it quicker.
Yep. No, I love it. It's called Stacked Coaching. Bradley, how can folks get in touch with you? How can they join the gym?
Yeah, they can email me, Bradley@stackcoaching.com. They go to our website. We have all kinds of drop your name and email address in there. You can book a free consultation with us, whether it's nutrition or fitness. We'll go over your goals, do some goal setting with you, show you the journey or the path to get there. And look, we're going to be honest with you. And if I say in that consultation, and I've said this a handful of times, like, we are not a good fit for you. And if we're not a good fit for you, I'll help you find the gym that is a good fit for you.
I can't imagine it not being a good fit for just about everybody. Bradley?
There are some people there looking for competition, and that's not us.
Yeah, no, it's not at all. It's a great environment where everybody backs everybody else up and you see results and quicker than later, sooner than later. Bradley, always a pleasure, brother. Thanks so much for joining us.
All right, my man. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yep. That's Bradley Schneller from Stacked Coaching. Fantastic place. River Road, right at Arnold, about a block from the River Shack. Check it out. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. Coming right back, New Orleans.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a Thursday afternoon. Hurricane Helene bearing down on the Florida Panhandle. It's hard to believe, just like a couple hundred miles east of us, rain and wind and a hurricane, and absolutely gorgeous afternoon in New Orleans. Gorgeous day all day. Low humidity. Feels like 70-something. Well, not by weather.com and the like. They say it feels like 85, the temperature it is. But I'm telling you, go outside and enjoy it. Throw down some coals tonight, light up the gas, do some grilling outside. It's absolutely beautiful outside. Enjoy the day. Enjoy this great weather. Yeah, we're finally fading out of our summer season, heading into our non-summer season. Late September, almost October. We're getting there. This guy's a champion. He's picking up the slack for us. He's only been at it for 35 years in Louisiana. We continue to have major problems, and apples to apples, Louisiana compared to other states, we're terrible. We don't spay and neuter our animals. We neglect animals. We don't bring them to the vet. We don't have dogs on heartworm medicine every month. That's right. If you own a dog, heartworm medicine every month. Jeff Dorson from the Humane Society of Louisiana doing the good work for us, joining us live on the program again. What's happening, Jeff?
Hey, Corey. Thanks for the intro. Thanks for these precious minutes where we talk about the one thing I'm good at talking about is just being kind to animals. Can't say enough about it. And there's a shortage of it. People actually are the opposite. They're thoughtless and they can be very mean and cruel. And we see a lot of that based on the number of phone calls and text messages and emails. Yep. We can do better.
No, always talk about Jeffrey Dahmer. You know, he was like killing squirrels and he couldn't get the skin off the bone. So he's dipping the bone in acid to get it clean. And then what's he doing to human beings? The exact same thing. And that's not just like, boy, Corey, that's an extreme example. When people treat animals cruelly, they treat human beings cruelly. You know, my grandfather's guy, he likes to dog fight and he's not a good guy. my grandfather's a good guy and he was a racist. It was just a different time. No, he was a racist. So, that kind of, the way people treat animals is the way they treat people. And who wants to be around someone that doesn't know how to treat an animal right? They're obviously not going to treat people right.
Well, good point. There's a complete direct correlation.
Yep.
You hit it on the nail. How we treat animals is how we'll end up treating humans, and the inverse is equally true. If they're mean to people, they'll probably be mean to animals. So right you are. So the way to correct that is can you be nice, everybody? Can you go out of your way? Can you be charitable? Can you donate? Can you volunteer? Because there's not enough of us trying to pick up the mess.
No,
it's just not. And
to do the right thing.
Growing.
To do the right thing. And the mess is overwhelming. I don't know how you keep doing it, Jeff, honestly. Because sometimes just the stuff you send me, it just sets me back. And that's just you every single day, 7 days a week, 365.
Well, somehow I'm just have the right wiring for it. It's like I just want to help, and so I don't get tired when I have that in my ingrained. I don't need to talk about me. I just want to see other people just do a little bit.
Yep.
It will help. Just Livingston, a good guy. He's on a fixed income. He's probably in his late 60s. He sees two dogs on the side of the road, as we all do all the time. It's getting more prevalent because vet prices have increased, pet food has increased. So what do people do? They open the car and let the dog out. Only this guy did something really noble. Fixed income, he has 5 stray dogs of his own. He stopped and put the 2 scared, hungry dogs in his back seat and drove home. Hats off to him. First name Frank, Livingston Parish, another parish that doesn't have parish-wide animal control. There was nobody to call. It was him or nobody. So he called us, and your donations pay for their spay and neuter and their vaccinations and their wellness check. And so that's a good use of our donations. It's not going to our salaries. It's going right on the front line to these wonderful strays. They were so confused, looking at every car thinking, was that the one that dropped me off that's not coming back? You can imagine what they're going through.
Yep.
And so good for Frank. We should all be like Frank. And so big-hearted guy. Sends me a before and after picture. 2 dogs scared on the highway. Second picture, they're resting on his bed.
No, I'd like to find the person that dumped him off and get him arrested. HumaneLA.org is the website. That's where you can donate. You can get a little monthly pop taken off of a credit card, out of a checking account, savings account, 10, 15, 20 bucks a month. You can donate just 20 bucks one time, or 200 bucks, or $2,000. It's going to be money well spent. HumaneLA.org. Livingston Parish, speaking of, they might be getting a new shelter finally, right?
They may. They're talking about it. They're taking certain baby steps, but they are taking them. I confirmed that with the secretary of the parish president, who's a very nice guy, Randy, and she said, yes, land has been donated right next to their existing one that's dilapidated, and they've hired an architect. So he's keeping his campaign promise to get a shelter up and running, and I think that's a great on him to keep his promise.
And your boy Frank sort of got this thing stimulated, right?
Well, there's a tie-in. We let people know in Livingston that yes, it's still a problem, but let's all work together to get this new shelter up and running. So yeah, there's a little tie-in. I like it. People are doing their part, and our elected officials are actually honoring their campaign promises, which is really nice. Nice to see. Very refreshing.
Yep. Jeff, about 30 seconds. Anything else you need help with?
You said it all. Donate right now. Don't put it off. We could use it to help Yellow and Black. Those are the 2 dogs. The guy's a Steeler fan, but with a sense of humor. So help us out. It will cost about $500 total to get the dogs up and running. So let's try and raise that before the end of the night. That's it.
$500 before the day's over. Let's help those 2 dogs in Livingston Parish, plus the guy, Frank, that picked him up. The money's not going to him, just helping the dogs. That guy's a hero. HumaneLA.org. HumaneLA.org. Until next time, Jeff. Oh, wait, someone has something to say to you, Jeff, real quick. Oh, boy. Oh, boo boy.
I've heard that bark before.
Yep, he's the best. Yeah, you're the best. Thanks so much, Jeff.
Thanks, Corey.
HumaneLA.org is the website. HumaneLA.org. Go to it right now and donate. Donate generously right now. HumaneLA.org. 5 o'clock power hour next.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage. Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us steer you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Ford F-150, number one seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became number one for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
Yeah, you, right, Crescent City and beyond. A Thursday afternoon edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you. Hey, Jefferson Parish. You know, I always have Ed Michelle, the Inspector General, City of New Orleans, on the program. Monday, Kim Chatelain's going to join us, the Jefferson Parish Inspector General. That's this Monday, Jefferson Parish, folks. You don't want to miss that. You every day telling it like it is. Is there anyone else in talk radio in Metro New Orleans, maybe the state or region, that tells it like it is, like I do? I'm not patting myself on the back or bragging. It's sort of sad. We're like a talk radio desert around here. Former disc jockeys doing shows, folks that aren't talk radio professionals doing shows, just lightweight shows that have an agenda. Not here. You know what my agenda is? You. You know what my agenda is? And it's just, I'm just naturally built this way. I like critical thinking. I like taking each situation separately and looking at the facts, not assuming, not generalizing. No, it's just, people just love that. That's a safe, easy way. I saw this video today on Twitter. It happened to be this black lady with her son at some fast food place just going nuts. And the guy who posted it was just under a pseudonym, of course, where you can, you're scared and you can hide under this fake name. Black women are, and then just went off on it. And I was just like, wow, black women, huh? How about just that person? The incidental is it was a black woman. I felt the worst for the kid. I was like, that kid's got no chance. And it was wrong, and the woman was insane and crazy, should have gone to jail and all that. But just these generalizations people like throwing out there that make them feel better. Just, I was like, I had to reply. I was like, boy, just racist and not fair, objective thinking. Just, people like that safe, assuming thing, and hate and racist bigotry. It's just, I don't know. I don't get it. Every situation is different. I mean, that's Italians for you. What? What do you mean? That's Italians for you. I don't get that. Oh, those Asians, they, what do they do? People love these safe things, It makes them feel better, I guess. Being critical of other people, talking about other people makes them feel better about themselves, the other people's problems. I like telling it like it is. I work for you. I like being fair and objective as much as I can be. I like analyzing each situation individually based off of facts, and going from there. Hey, the Rouse's Markets phone lines are open. They're always open. We never screen calls. We never cut you off even when you disagree. 766-9480. There are no rules to callers. 766-9480. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. I do have a few $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. The year was 1962. It was a big year for like 5 major retailers. They all do the same thing. They were all opened in 1962, founded in 1962. I mean, what's the deal with 1962? So strange. Name me a couple of these 4 or 5 retailers. One of them's basically gone, like doesn't even exist. One of the 5 doesn't exist at all. Another one of the 5 is basically gone, like one location left. A couple of the 5 are monsters. One of them is a super monster. They all do the exact same thing. Name me 2 of the 5. Name me 2 of the 5, and I'll give you a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate. I know, kind of a abstract, kind of obscure question, but a real question. I found it fascinating, to be honest with you. Why 1962? They changed the law? No. You want to know what it was? When someone comes up with a great idea, just universally great, a bunch of other people have that exact same idea at the exact same time. And it's the person that has the talent, the creativity to come up with the idea, coupled with the business savvy. A lot of people are creative and talented, don't have a business sense. A lot of people have business sense, aren't creative and talented. You get both together, you got a lot of success. Those people, they bring it to the floor. They get it done. 766-9480, Rouse's Markets phone lines if you'd like to participate. 766-9480. I'm going to give the answer to this one later today because it's just too easy. This goes back to like Monday. If Brian Kelly, LSU's head football coach, makes $10+ million annually, making him the highest paid on the LSU campus, who's second? Who's number 2? Earlier in the week, Stan and Kenner said Kim Mulkey. I think she's number 3 at about $3.1 million. So someone on the LSU campus makes north of $3.1 million annually and less than Brian Kelly's $10 million. Who is that person? The second highest paid on the LSU campus. Give me the answer to that. 50 big bucks can be yours. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. Rouse's Markets phone lines. 766-9480. Hurricane Helene bearing down on the Florida Panhandle. Already hitting it, basically. The eye isn't there yet. It'll be there in a few hours. A Cat 3 could increase to a Category 4. Tropical storm winds 350 miles out from the eye. That's 700 miles across. Like Atlanta and Charlotte, North Carolina right now getting dumped on with rain. Not windy yet, but some wind, but lots of rain. The Big Bend area where the Panhandle transitions to the Florida Peninsula, that's the area. East of Panama City, Appalachia Bay, kind of southeast of Tallahassee, northwest of Tampa. No, keep your thoughts and prayers in for that Florida area. One good thing about that area I just mentioned, where the Panhandle transitions to the peninsula, it's marsh and barrier islands and stuff that can slow down the hurricane, and not a whole lot of population. Florida's got 22 million people in that state, nearly 22 million. So there's not a lot of lack of density, but that is one of the areas where there is. Entergy and the city council considering cutting back, even removing oak trees in New Orleans because they knock out power when there's a storm. This is in a city where we desperately need trees. We have a depleted tree canopy. 30% tree loss. 30%, 1/3 in the last 20 years. Our tree canopy in New Orleans is like 18%. In Atlanta, it's 47%. We're in the northern tip of the subtropical. We're in a marsh and a wetland, literally. New Orleans should be the greenest, luscious city in North America, and it shouldn't even be close. And the opposite's true. And the council and Entergy are talking about getting rid of more trees or trimming back existing trees. Just mind-blowing. The Louisiana Surgeon General, a veterinarian, Ralph Abraham, wants to get a second tiger in Baton Rouge. A second tiger, so they can parade that one around in a little mobile cage before LSU football games. What is the fascination with the governor now, this Ralph Abraham, who's a vet, the Surgeon General in the state, he's a vet, and he wants to do this. I said it last hour. Hey, Ralph Abraham, stay in your lane. But this is his lane. Yeah, apparently he cannot drive. Jeez, charismatic New York City Mayor Eric Adams indicted. He's in a lot of trouble. I'll fill you in on that later this hour. I was driving in, scanning through the stations. I landed on this warped, bigoted station in New Orleans. I mean, if you're like Latino or Jewish or Asian, you're pretty much going to get criticized in in a crazy way. Just can't help themselves. Like taking up for Eric Adams, just on Eric Adams' side. It's mind-blowing. It really is. Be like Corey. View every situation individually. Go with the facts. I know it's innocent until proven guilty, but what I'm going to tell you in a little while would not make you want to take up for Eric Adams. And I like the guy. I thought he was charismatic, and it's all a farce, it looks like. Hey, Renee Pastorek from the Downtown Development District's going to join us next. Redeveloping Canal Street. We'll find out about that. Hard Rock Hotel, collapse site, and more. Don't go anywhere, New Orleans.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. No AC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. No AC.com, your cool spot.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades. On Jefferson Highway, across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building. with literally dozens and dozens of flat screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
5 o'clock power hour brought to you by Leidenheimer Baking Company. They've been at it in New Orleans since 1896. You know that Leidenheimer French bread you love? They ship it out to 30 plus states in America now. The rest of the country figuring out what we've known since we've been alive. That Leidenheimer French bread is the best. Leidenheimer Baking Company, nearly 130 years, good to the last crumb, and now in 30 plus states around the country. And all that Leidenheimer French bread is baked right here in New Orleans. They're not subbing it out to some bakery in, Vermont. They're shipping it out from the New Orleans bakery every single day. Leidenheimer French bread, Leidenheimer Baking Company. Let's find out what's going on Canal Street and more from the Downtown Development District. Renee Pastorek joins us on the program. How you doing, Renee?
Doing great. How are you?
Doing well. Is it Pastorek or Pastorek?
It's Pastorek.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I remember you're related to the old news guy?
I am, yes. That's a cousin of mine.
Yeah, who was that? I'm trying to think of his first name.
His name's John.
Yeah, John Pastorek.
Baton Rouge.
Yeah, out of BR, exactly. WBRZ, I think, Channel 2. Yep. I remember John. I was just trying to put it all together. Renee, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
Hey, I saw something about a week or so ago, sort of a reimagining of Canal Street. Is that right?
That's right. The city council passed a motion to revisit some of the past studies that looked at revitalizing Canal Street to determine and make this a priority on ways to really bring Canal Street back to some past grandeur.
Yeah, it's glory days. No, it's an incredible boulevard. From curb to curb, it's one of the widest streets in the country. And it's just set up to be something special, like a Michigan Avenue or Madison Avenue or something like that. What were some of the previous ideas or plans that may actually get instituted?
So there's been
implemented, I should
studies
say,
for Canal Street actually going back even to the 70s, when suburban growth was happening, up to the early 2000s with online shopping. And first I want to note that, many of the large recommendations from the previous studies have been implemented. The palm trees and the brickwork that we have now on Canal Street, of course, the streetcar, that was all implemented 20 years ago, just before Katrina. There's been studies as well looking at upper floors on Canal Street. There's been some building code issues that have made it more difficult to renovate and rehabilitate some of these structures.
Yep.
But there have been some positive stories even in the past year. We've seen, new hotels on either end of Canal Street in those upper floors. But, there's still a lot of room to grow. And so I think what this is an opportunity for is to look at some of those additional actions that, many different partners can take, whether it's stronger retail attraction, bringing in local businesses to some of these locations, better pedestrian amenities, of course, routine maintenance on some of the existing features. But really, there's so much work to do. But I definitely want to note that there has been a lot of work done in the past, and we've come a long way, I think, in the last 20 years.
Renee, it's kind of tough. Like some of these buildings, you physically can't make them handicap accessible for the upper floors. You can't install an elevator. Like physically can't do it. And then a lot of developers would say it's cost prohibitive to do it because of the loss of space. How do you overcome those types of things? And am I accurate when I bring up those things that are bogging down, maybe some upper floors being redeveloped?
That is accurate. So, a lot of these older buildings, when they go, they're very skinny, kind of long, old style property lots and building dimensions. And so when they go to renovate them to meet the building code, the fire safety code, there's these additional egresses and fire safety regulations that are difficult to meet. One way that people have gotten over it, and you can see this up and down Canal over the last 10, 15 years, is combining the upper floors and having additional entrances and exits via, other properties. So the Rubenstein's Hotel that just opened this past year, that's multiple storefronts above Rubenstein's. The Mayfair Hotel, which is where the Ruby Slipper just reopened, that's another example of where they've taken multiple storefronts and then combined them to meet those regulations. Now, that is costly. And hopefully that's something that study can look at and identify ways to make it, lessen the barriers for development.
I mean, you got to get either one person buying up those 3 storefronts, 4 storefronts, whatever the number might be, and or being able to partner with each other and develop the upper floors, right?
Exactly, yeah. And that can be difficult. That's, of course, where organizations like ours, like DDD, where we come in to kind of act as the middleman working with property owners, developers, marketing Canal Street, and letting people know, there is investment happening, that your property has value, and then working with, all the different city agencies to make sure that it's a priority to attract additional investment.
Hey, who was the old guy running the DDD? Kurt Weigel, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I used to talk to Kurt all the time, and we never could get the domino. I say we, the city, could never get the dominoes going. It's like you get some major retailer that's, big time investing in Canal Street. Then these other retailers are like, they did their due diligence. They're successful. They don't just wing it. They must believe in Canal Street. Then you get a second one, and then the third one's going, look at these 2 that are here, and then the dominoes fall. Can't quite get that first domino going, right?
That's definitely correct. It's getting that first catalytic, retail attraction is very difficult. Like I said, there have been wins over the years, certainly when Kurt was running the DDD over the last 20 years. But like I said, there's still work to do, and getting that catalytic investment will be difficult, of course, with online shopping and the changing retail marketplace. But again, that's, I think that re-looking at some of these past recommendations and identifying what we can do in 2024, because, like I just said, it really has changed a lot, the way people shop, the way people visit, how people want to, traverse around their city.
It almost seems like, you make it for the tourists and the conventioneers, the foot traffic that's down there, more so than the locals, because if you get it for the tourists and the conventioneers, the locals will follow, I would think. Is that kind of the thinking?
Definitely. And we track foot traffic using a program called Placer that tracks cell phone activity. We continue to see year-over-year growth in Canal Street foot traffic time and time again. And I think what that tells us is that, the dollars are there, the people are there. It's really about giving them places to stop, reasons to shop. For too long, Canal Street has kind of been a barrier between our 2, most historic, most famous neighborhoods. And I think it's time to bring it back to what it originally was, which was the original neutral ground, the meeting place between those neighborhoods.
Yeah, no doubt. Renee Pastrek's with us from the Downtown Development District. Going back to the original question, Renee, what are some of the things you guys would like to implement from previous plans?
So I think there's a couple things we could do from previous plans. One is just implementing art and placemaking opportunities on the corridor. Something that we recently just did was partnered with Tulane and NASA on the further end of Canal Street on the near the School of Public Health to do this beautiful mural, if you haven't seen it, representing the life sciences in the bio district. And that's something, it's a small win, but it's something that just provides an interesting point of value for people walking down the street. And in advance of the Super Bowl, we're actually working on what we're calling the French Doors Project, which, we view Canal Street and its corridor as the street and then the 100 blocks on either side of the corridor. And so we're looking at ways to improve lighting, improve maybe put murals at the entrances, Bourbon Street, Royal, Charters, just again, giving more reasons for people to stop and really interact with the city environment.
How about a more green Canal Street? Not only green like, permeable concrete and, maybe some kind of retention pond, water feature type things, but getting rid of all the concrete and planting grass and, that kind of green. Why not more of that? It seems sort of like a concrete jungle, and the palm trees are nice, but it's not a lot of shade on the street. It's not very green. It seems the opposite of flood mitigation. Seems like it would add to flooding almost. Any thoughts on that?
Definitely. And this is something that the previous studies have identified. Canal Street on either side is 3 lanes. There is room to add additional greenery, bioswales that, don't necessarily act as the full drainage capacity for the area, but can add additional drainage capacity on just a really overwhelmed system. And then adding additional types of trees. These are things that have previously been identified that aren't too costly. There's the maintenance involved, but yeah, there is a big opportunity to do what we've been doing in other parts of the city on Canal Street with the right, analysis of traffic. Certainly we don't want to take away a traffic lane if it's going to induce too much traffic, but there's definitely opportunities.
Yeah, it just seems like where the streetcar is, I guess you want to keep some concrete there for police and emergency vehicles to traverse that. But all you need is like 1 lane where the streetcars are on each side, and even in between the tracks, in between the tracks and the Canal Street itself, it seems like that should be like water features, green, grass, trees, bushes, that type of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know if you remember the Dutch dialogues from 20 years ago after Katrina, but, leaders from around the state went to the Netherlands and looked at different things that they're doing for water management. And if you've ever seen Amsterdam, they have, it's very a lot like New Orleans. They have canals and streetcars, and it's full of greenery on these exactly the way you described. So I think there's definitely potential in that.
Yeah, that kind of ended up being one big junket, I think, Renee, because I don't know how much was implemented. Yeah, their whole idea is work with water, not against it. And It's amazing we haven't implemented anything since that trip. Hey, it's like an entrance to the French Quarter, and it's an eyesore to this day. It's mind-blowing to me. The Hard Rock Hotel collapse, that's like 3 years ago. It's not even like a cleaned-over lot. It's just muddy with, concrete still there and chain-link fence. I mean, if they're not going to build something there, it seems like the owners, the city should... The DDD should, make that some kind of park until they do decide to build there. Right now, it's like off limits. It's blight. It's an eyesore. Am I right on that?
It's definitely an eyesore. I think there is work going on, just so you know, to finally repair the sidewalks and the, traffic area just around the site. But, in terms of what DDD can do, we don't have any jurisdictional
no, you don't.
or kind of enforcement authority over issues like that.
Right.
Certainly, we definitely advocate for cleaning up blight in any form, with the tools available from the city. So, potentially with bringing Canal Street back to as a priority through this study and through additional means, hopefully we can see some movement on that site.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still got a crappy chain link fence around it, right?
It does, yeah.
It's pathetic. It's 3 years later.
Some improvement.
It should be a park with benches and trees until they decide to build something there. I just don't get it. And right now, there's no plans to do anything with it. So that seems like the only realistic thing, just a nice little park. And could use a little green space right there. Could be a little retention pond until they build there. Renee, what's the footprint of the downtown development district?
So we run from the river to Claiborne, Iberville to Calliope.
From the river to Claiborne and from Iberville, so a block into the quarter.
Yes.
To Calliope. Boy, that's the Pontchartrain Expressway.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What are there any other plans for other parts of the DDD?
Absolutely. So, one thing we've been working on is a parks and open space plan with Manning Architects over the past year to look at different areas around the entire downtown development district. Mississippi River Heritage Park. There's St. Mary's Park, which is a small kind of neutral ground in the warehouse district, among some others, to look at minimal, improvements we can do, whether it's landscaping, benches, signage, just ways to really take these parks and make them, again, places that people want to visit and really interact with. That's something, again, I mentioned the Bio District. We're huge supporters of the Bio District and Tulane's work to advance their campus downtown. If you're not familiar, Tulane's been investing millions of dollars downtown, really putting their stamp on the district, and it's really incredible. And I think there's only room to go. The only place to go is up from here, I think, for Tulane. And we're really excited about what that's bringing to the district as well.
Yeah, the old charity hospital falls in the DDD, right?
It does. I really hope that project can get implemented, that we've partnered as a funder on the Bio District Strategic Plan, and that was identified as really one of the most important pieces of getting the Bio District off the ground. So hopefully we can see some movement on that. I know Tulane and many other agencies and partners have been working to get that going, and so hopefully, we start to see some movement soon.
Not to be redundant, but not only Canal Street, I mean, we have a 30% tree canopy loss in the last 20 years. That just the green thing all over. By charity, by down Loyola, Poydras, Canal Street, by the Pontchartrain Expressway, Howard Avenue. It just seems like the warehouse district. It just seems like we really have a lack of trees, flood mitigation, retention pond type water feature things. It seems like it's wide open for all of that.
It is. And, we're aware of that. And we've been recently applying for grants through different agencies. One we recently applied for with the Delta Regional Authority, we haven't heard anything, is a Howard Avenue corridor study that would look at just that, implementing green infrastructure, trees for heat mitigation, as well as general traffic safety improvements to spur investment. You have the Plaza Tower, you have the Archdiocese building.
Yep.
So public investment in that corridor, similar to what I was just talking about Canal Street, could help, spur those projects.
Yeah, the Archdiocese, I think, new ownership. They're working on it as we speak, converting it to something, hotels or condos, something. Mm-hmm. Plaza Tower is just sort of sitting there. But the whole DDD is kind of a concrete jungle. And besides the flood mitigation, I think, like you're saying, it would attract businesses. It would attract people. It makes people want to go down there. Like you mentioned, Amsterdam, some of these European cities in Canada, even parts of North American cities. They've done that, and it's a magnet.
It is. It's a magnet for visitors and people wanting to be downtown. But I will say it's also a magnet for investment. Large investors around the world, when they're choosing cities to invest in retail or residential or hotels, they're watching what the city's doing. And so when they see a city that's investing in itself, that's building better parks and better amenities, they know that that's a place that they want to invest in. So I think that, there really is the business case for making those improvements as well.
You were talking about just internet retail compared to walking into stores. Another catch-22, I guess, buildings that were once office buildings, people are working at home, things of that nature. High occupancy rates, a lot of office space being converted to condos and apartments and the like. And the hope is a lot more will be converted, right?
That's right. So we actually this past week hosted a webinar on something called the Revitalizing Downtowns and Main Streets Act, which is a federal bill that was introduced this past summer that could provide a tax credit to assist with renovating or converting office commercial buildings to residential housing. We've been advocating for that for the last 2 years. That it's really gaining traction. Cities across the country, of course, as you know, are dealing with vacancy, with lower return to work rates. I do want to point out, though, that New Orleans actually has one of the highest return to office rates in the country. With that program that we use, Placer, that tracks cell phone activity. So, where we're at like 85, 90% of people coming back compared to 2019. Some cities are at 45, 50%.
Renee, any final thoughts till we do this again one day?
I'm looking forward to seeing how we can improve Canal Street and the rest of the district, and I do appreciate you having me on your show.
Hey, is there a website where folks can check out what y'all are doing?
Yes, downtownnola.com.
Downtownnola.com. That's the DDD's website. Renee, thanks so much.
Thank you.
That's Renee Pastrek with the Downtown Development District. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday. Young's Dry Cleaning's been with you only since 1940. They're kind of a newbie at it. 84 years of excellence. A New Orleans institution. You tired of your dry cleaner? Want to experience the best? YoungsDryCleaning.com. Boy, we got a lot to talk about today in the 5 o'clock powwow. Hey, Jefferson Parish folks, Monday, Kim Chatelain's going to join us. She's the Jefferson Parish Inspector General. We'll find out what's going on there. Hurricane Helene bearing down on the Florida Panhandle, the Florida Peninsula, kind of that Big Bend area right where the Panhandle transitions to the peninsula. Already seeing a lot of rain in Atlanta and Charlotte, North Carolina from this storm. It's crazy. About 350 miles out from the eye on either side, like 700 miles across. Crazy. And places like Pensacola Beach not getting rain. You know, there's got to be a line of demarcation somewhere, and it's somewhere around Fort Walton heading east. And then it's just this massive storm. Let's hope it bogs down quickly going into that Big Bend area where there's a lot of marsh and barrier islands and the like that'll, you know, slow that thing down. And it's probably the least populated part of the state of Florida, which has like 22 million people. Charismatic New York City Mayor Eric Adams in trouble, indicted by the Southern District of New York. Federal charges, criminal charges, taking things of value from Turkish representatives, help Turkey circumvent building codes and inspections to get a unworthy consulate building to open, enhanced travel, personal benefits, illegal campaign contributions, bribery, wire fraud, receiving benefits from a foreign national from Turkey, like $100,000 plus, staying in luxury suites in Istanbul on the way to other countries, and has been doing this since way back in 2014, like 10 years, when he was the Brooklyn borough president or mayor. A 57-page indictment. 5 counts. The feds seized Adams' phones and others. Speaking of others, the police commissioner resigned. The school chief resigned. The mayor's lawyer resigned. Adams is complaining. He's heard nothing of these charges, indictments, investigations. Yeah, exactly. The feds are going to tell you they're investigating you? It made him mad. The element of surprise. Even AOC, very liberal, calling for his resignation. The New York governor has the power to remove Mayor Adams. No, it's a sad, sad story. It really is. It's pretty sad and pathetic. This guy was charismatic. I bought into him, Eric Adams. I was just like, this guy seems to care about New York. He's down to earth. He just seems to tell it like it is. And now it appears he's just one big BS artist that instead of civic duty and, you know, doing for the people, doing for himself. Just sad and pathetic. Hey, are you on the causeway right now? Beeline into the North Shore? Why don't you do like I did earlier today? I was on the North Shore. I was about to get on the causeway. I called Trey Yen, got a to-go order. Those lunch specials Tuesday through Friday can't be beat. 10, 11, 12 bucks for not Chinese food, Chinese cuisine at fast food prices. Check out those lunch specials Tuesday through Friday, like tomorrow. But right now, why don't you head over there and get a to-go order? You're on the causeway? Call in Trey Yen, curbside delivery. They walk it right out to your car. Or better yet, dine in. South Shore folks, 25 short minutes from Lakeside Mall. You North Shore folks, I don't care if you're in Madisonville, Mandeville, Lacombe, Folsom, Bush, Covington, at the foot of the causeway, critically acclaimed, nationally recognized, Trey Yen tonight for dinner.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helene Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helene Paint and Benjamin Moore led us steer you in the right direction.
Helene Paint and Supply.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades. On Jefferson Highway, across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District. I wanted to pick up this electrolyte drink. It's called Body Armor. And I like the sugar-free lemon lime. You know where I found it? Rouse's Markets. I basically bought all of the lemon lime from the Rouse's last night on Airline and LeBar. Then I beeline down Airline, hooked a right at Clearview, and pretty much bought all they had there as well. But they've got a bunch of different flavors. I just like the lemon lime exclusively. And Rouse's has what I wanted, typical. They've got local stuff, regional stuff, national stuff, international stuff. And I love that Rouse's is open till 10 p.m. because I went to dinner and then I hit the Rouse's on Airline and I grabbed a bunch there and I was like, I'd really like to get some more. I'm like, oh yeah, that Rouse's on Clearview is pretty big. That's an amazing Rouse's. It's giant, it's plush, it's huge. Incredible beer, wine, liquor department like all those Rouse's. And they had the energy drink aisle and I scooped up a bunch of that stuff. Now, I made the mistake of going like River Road to Causeway at like 7:30 one morning. Just Trafficville, USA. But at night, easy to traverse Metairie in New Orleans and so many Rouse's. And then I got on the Earhart Expressway and brought me right back down to, the Carrollton, Riverbend, Pigeon Town neighborhood by the Sewage and Water Board, right by the parish line. I'm right there. I'm right where Claiborne's turns into Jefferson Highway, by the Lowe's, by the Sewage and Water Board. Like I said, Pigeon Town, the Riverbend, the end of Oak Street, River Road, by Southport Hall. So Earhart Expressway got me from that Rouse's on Clearview home in like 7 minutes, especially at night. And then I could have hit the Rouse's on Carrollton and Bienville. I just happened to be in Metairie eating dinner, and that's why I went there. Could have hit the Rouse's on Napoleon and Tchoupitoulas. Even the little boutique store, as I call it, Ferret at Valence, in between Jefferson and Napoleon. Yeah, on Ferret at Valence, in between Jefferson and Napoleon, is a Rouse's. And it's modern and brand new, and it anchors down that Ferret corridor. I remember a few years ago, I lived off Broadway by the river, and Britannia, Magazine, St. Charles Avenue, they're just hard to traverse, traffic, that kind of thing. I used to call it the Ferret Jet, but now between Jefferson and Napoleon, it's the Ferret Slow. I mean, it used to be like 5 businesses, no one there. Now it's 50 businesses and hundreds of people all up and down Ferret. Yeah, from the Ferret Jet to the Ferret Slow. No, they got a Rouse's there. There's a Rouse's just about everywhere. Every neighborhood. You head home from work, you might pass 2 or 3 Rouse's. And like me, eating late dinner last night, it's like 8:30, 9 o'clock. All those Rouse's are open till 10 p.m. At least. Some are open later. And they all open at 7 a.m., some even earlier. Best quality, best price, best selection, convenience, tastes like home, your Rouse's Markets. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday. Hurricane Helene, it's amazing. A few hundred miles east of us, rain, wind, hurricane, Cat 3. Today, one of the best days in 5 months in the city. Just incredibly. Now, I don't want to say cool, but not hot, breezy, low humidity, just wonderful weather. Tomorrow morning's going to be fantastic. We're going to wake up to about 66 degrees, low humidity, and 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, it's going to be like 73. Just a really great day. If you can get outside tomorrow morning, do it, because it's going to be one of the nicest mornings literally in about 5 months. What's great about all this? We're in late September, fading towards October. So we're at the end of our summer season, and we're about to fade into the non-summer season. We get about 6 months of summer and about 6 months of not summer. So we're about to fade into just great outdoor weather. But tonight, the way the weather is, throw down some coals, light up the gas. It's a beautiful night. It's a beautiful afternoon in New Orleans. Entergy, the city council, considering cutting back, even removing oak trees in a city that has a depleted tree canopy. Entergy, city council, do better. Do a lot better. Protect the oak trees. Plant more oak trees. Don't cut them back. Don't V-cut them that you do. Entergy just ruining these trees. Make your power lines higher above the tree line or bury them, for crying out loud. And then the council's like considering this? What a dysfunctional city council. We have flooding problems. Trees stop flooding. The Louisiana Surgeon General, who's a veterinarian, Ralph Abraham, he wants to get a second tiger at LSU so he can put it in a mobile cage and run it around before ball games. Just mind-blowing. The governor is into this too. I don't understand the fascination with having a tiger in a cage and running it around the stadium. I almost think it's like a political move, like anti-PETA. Let's get those people, that think anti-PETA. Let's get them all foaming at the mouth so I can get reelected. Let's put a tiger in a cage and run it around. Those liberals hate that. No, it isn't a liberal or conservative thing. It's a reasonable, rational, realistic thing. Cruelty to animals for no reason. Why would you think about getting a wild tiger, putting it in a tiny mobile cage, and running it around Tiger Stadium with 102,000 people screaming and yelling? For the benefit of the fans? We stopped doing that like 25 years ago because it's cruelty to animals, not because of PETA, because of common sense. No, I honestly think it's just like some dopey political move to get the base all, going. Absolutely crazy. Hey, Art and Eyes on Magazine, one of the premier eyewear boutiques in the entire country. You need to go check them out. Right now, they've got a basket on one of the counters that has about 150 pairs of glasses in there. I'm talking frames that range from like $300 to over $1,000 for just the frames. Every single frame in there, and these are from Japan, Europe, America, the best of the best. Every single frame in there is absolutely free. All you pay for are the prescription lenses. So for a few $100, you can get some glasses that might be $1,000 for the frames. And when you touch, feel, put them on, you're going to be like, I see why they're $1,000. Just ridiculously high quality, like a lifetime purchase. If you're like me, you like nice eyewear that lasts a long time, you take care of it, go check out Art and Eyes on Magazine.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway, across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. Hey, why aren't you at Katie's right now in Mid-City? Yummy. A quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant. Iberville corner Tallahassee. As New Orleans as it gets. Get to Katie's in Mid-City. So good. I love getting Scott Craig on the show like once a month or so. And I had him on like about 6 weeks ago. We got 10 doormat flounder stuffed. We got 10. When they're gone, they're gone. We got 15 pompano. I mean, that's like high-end restaurant stuff. Doormat flounder and pompano. Katie's, man, you never know what they're going to have. It's pure New Orleans. Hey, Monday, you Jefferson Parish folks, the Inspector General for Jefferson Parish, Kim Chatelain's going to join us. I always get, I was about to say Bob Sarasoli, the original IG here in New Orleans, the man, the myth, the legend. Now, I always get Ed Michelle on the program. He does a fantastic job. He's cut out of that Bob Sarasoli cloth. You want to know my only concern with Ed Michelle? He works so hard. He does so much. He's so legitimate. I hope the guy doesn't burn out. Seriously. He just grinds all the time. Speaking of a grinder, there he is. Old Blue Boy, the master. What's up, buddy? It's good. I'm getting Kim Chatelaine on Monday from Jefferson Parish, the IG. You're right. What else? Tomorrow's Friday, Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Boy, Blue Boy, you're on it. What else? Keep folks in Florida. Thoughts and prayers. Hope Helene is not bad.
You're on the
Good
neutral
boy.
ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.